Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, Chapter 78. When we last left our heroes, Rebecca tried to bring medicine to Wise after he was shot by Fee, because the medicine has Sister's ether, and so it can heal wounds as well as illnesses. But she was captured in a wind prison by Sylph, but Herman at least knew where she was, so she sent Shiki, Homura, and Pino there. Homura got the medicine, but Shiki started fighting Sylph, who we found out is the sister of Jinn from the Gilst arc, which starts a rematch between the two of them. Also, Rebecca's woken up in a very nice bedroom with a bathing Drakken Joe, which was a little weird. So yeah, all that being said, let's jump right on into Chapter 78, number 29. On our picture here is just Rebecca having lunch or dinner or some kind of meal. A simple enough picture. Anyway, we open right where we left off last time with Rebecca on the bed and Drakken just in a bathtub. Drakken Joe! We see like Rebecca is obviously freaking out because their target has just popped up right in her room. And he stands up in the nude. And Rebecca's kind of like freaking out, both because, he's very intimidating and because he's naked. Or maybe not, because he just kind of looks away as he gets in this kind of gigantic air dryer that dries him off. Then he puts on a bathrobe. So I really don't know why he had to be in the bath in the first place. Then he puts down a glass. Care for a drink? And he pours two glasses, and he pours a drink into them. Where am I? My room. I'm guessing I don't need to introduce myself. This does not really feel like how I imagined Drakken Joe's room to look, but I'll take it, sure. And Rebecca's still like very clearly on edge, not looking away for a second. Relax your guard, I won't do anything. What do you want with me? I want to talk. And Rebecca reaches over and sees that Happy is there. None of that. And Rebecca is, shocked that she was found out. Reaching for your guns, right? Please don't. I'd hate to break a weapon that looks so cute when it's sleeping. And Rebecca just keeps on staring, a little bit more sweat now. I think we've started on the wrong foot. So there's one thing I need to make very clear. I'm not interested in killing you. And of course that includes making you suffer at all. Alright. I know who you are. Master Noah told me about you. You're Rebecca the Beekeeper, right? Master Noah sold us out. Yeah, you shouldn't trust guys like him. Why are you after the Eden Zero? So Rebecca kind of takes that in stride, which kind of plays into, what we've known about this world in comparison to Fairy Tail, where guilds don't really mean much. Because there's something very precious on that ship. That's a Therion. Something precious? Come with me. I want to show you something. And Rebecca, kind of surprised by that. And I think your clothes got torn, so I got you some new ones. I'll be outside until you're ready. There's some kind of, mechanism going, and out pops a very revealing outfit. Which is, peak Mashima. Unless the skirt is longer than it looks like, and just kind of under the shirt as well. I don't know, I'm thinking way too hard about Mashima outfits, because they're not supposed to make sense. Oh, Happy, what do I do? I hope the medicine made it to Wise. But first, how do I get out of this? Speaking of the medicine, we check back in on Shiki's fight with Sylph and Jinn. My code name. It's Sylph of the Wind. Sylph of the Element 4. Don't call me by my real name, brother. The Element 4? Clean. You go after the woman who left with the case. Sylph looks at him annoyed. You used my real name again. You're not going anywhere. Shiki readies his ether gear and lunges at Sylph as she runs away. But Jinn blocks him. Master! And Jinn kicks Shiki down to the ground. Gwah! And Sylph gets away. Damn it! And Jinn lands behind Shiki as he's watching Sylph. You will be dealing with me. And then Shiki turns to glare at Jinn. Were you one of the Element 4 too? I am merely a mercenary. The Element 4 are Drakken Special Forces. They represent fire, wind, water, and earth. One of those warriors is clean, and my current job is to act as her assistant. Ah, that's interesting. That means that Sylph is like higher on the totem pole than Jinn is. I did not figure. She called you her brother. Does that mean your family? And Jinn pauses for a sec before readying another wind attack. That is none of your concern. And Shiki is like blown back by the wind, but he like stops himself by skidding on the ground. Evil deeds are not a good family activity. Tell me where you took Rebecca. And then he jumps back and lunges at Jinn, but Jinn like jumps over him. And Shiki carries his momentum onto a pillar that he gravities onto, and Jinn has disappeared. There's been no change Jinn reappears above Shiki. There has been no change in your ether power since our bouts at Aliga Tower. Of course, that's to be expected from a normal human, but I am not normal. And we see Jinn, with his wind, like slices the tower into pieces. Gah! Master! The pieces of the tower all like fall to the ground. By modifying my body, I have raised my power 320% since our last meeting. Did we know Jinn was a robot? I feel like we might have known that, because they're not treating that like a reveal at all. Anyway, now I will show you. This is the true power of an ether gear. Overdrive. And we see the lines of ether that appear when people use their ether gear have now like physicalized and are surrounding Jinn's body, like twisting around him, which is an interesting effect. But we don't see any more of that because it's time to check back in with Rebecca, where, as a point of note, we do find out her outfit is no less revealing than any normal Mashima outfit. So I was kind of overreacting there. Anyway, so you brought your guns with you, eh? Drakken looks back at her. She's also carrying Happy. I should have mentioned that. Guess I can't blame you. This is Happy. He's my friend. Don't worry. I'm not going to take it from you. Follow me. And that gives Rebecca pause. And Drakken comes to a door and puts in a key code. What do you want? Look at this. The door starts to open. And we see Lobelia. Like, beat up, blindfolded, dress torn. Lobelia? Huh? What is Lobelia doing here? What happened to her? Lobelia? And Lobelia is, like, crying. You! What did you do to Lobelia? What does it look like? I punished her, just a little. She's put you through a lot of pain, hasn't she? And we see Rebecca is, like, freaking out now. Ha ha ha. Now look at her. That's what she gets. It's a little gift from me, since you will be joining my crew today. Okay. What do you mean? I told you, didn't I? There was something very precious on the Eden Zero. That something is you, Rebecca Bluegarden. Or should I say, number 29. Alright. Before I get to my overall analysis, let's take a stab at this page right here. So, either two things are going on here. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is number 29. Because I think the obvious reference there is to Ellie and Rave Mastery's backstory I remember very little about, but I do remember that the name Ellie came from reading her, like, serial number or something upside down. It was, like, printed on her body, and it was, like, 3173, I think, and upside down it became Ellie. And that's where her name came from. So, well, that's clearly 29 is not where Rebecca comes from. There's still, the fact that Rebecca apparently is a number 29, which, as I just said about Ellie, is something Mashima has done with his female protagonist before. The other thing to note is her last name being Bluegarden. Because most people, we know Bluegarden is her home planet, of course, where the guild is. But the only other time a last name on a planet matched was Shiki, because Shiki doesn't have a last name. He's kind of like found in the wilderness or in space, right? And then Ziggy raised him on Granbell, and that's the only human on Granbell. He just kind of got the name. But there are many, many people on Bluegarden. So I'm guessing Rebecca's some kind of experiment that will be elaborated more on in the next few chapters, which be elaborated more in the next few chapters, and then her last name comes from, I don't know, seeing a sign for the planet somewhere and just kind of taking it on. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like the way Solo changed Han's last name, except hopefully not as stupid as that was. So yeah, there's a really interesting thing going on this last page here. That, Rebecca hasn't really been a case of mystery in the same way Shiki has, of where exactly Shiki comes from, and his relation to Mother. But now, all of a sudden, there is definitely some interest there on where exactly Rebecca originates from. Anyway, on to the rest of the chapter. So yeah, it does turn out that when Drakken said that there was something very precious on that ship, my first thought was Etherion. Because we know Etherion is hiding Even Zero, and all the ways this arc has been building up Etherion, it seems like this would be the time for Etherion to, make its appearance. And it might still be. We found out in 76 that Rebecca apparently has what it takes to be an Etherion master, according to either Hermit or Witch. I can't remember who. So maybe there's something special about Rebecca. Maybe number 29 makes me think she's some kind of, scientific experiment originally. So maybe that's somehow related to Etherion. I don't know. But all of a sudden, Rebecca is a huge mystery that this chapter blew open. I'm really excited to see what exactly Mashima has in store with that. Because say what you want about Mashima, almost every single time he can smash. I'm trying to find a home run metaphor. His flashbacks are great. His flashbacks are always really good. That's always been a thing with Mashima from his earliest days. At least in Fairy Tail, again, my Raid Master memories are very vague. And the only besides the Hermit flashback, I can't think of a single bad Mashima flashback. So hopefully Rebecca will be more a Valkyrie flashback than a Hermit one. But needless to say, I'm very excited to find out Rebecca's origin. Beyond that, we have a fun fight with the rematch between Shiki and Jinn, as Shiki really can't land a blow on him, and we find out that there is another form of ether gear, the Overdrive, and I keep bringing back One Piece references because I just finished Zoe on One Piece. I'm making my way through it, of course. And the thing that comes to mind is when Doflamingo introduces the Awakenings in his fight with Luffy, except much, much earlier here, of course, because One Piece is One Piece, and this is not One Piece. But yeah, the fight doesn't give us a lot to talk about, other than seeing how powerful Jinn is. And I don't think this is the first time we've seen that Jinn's a robot. I think we knew that during Gilst, especially with how, not a surprise they play it up. The surprise, of course, saved for Overdrive. And I don't know if we'll see that next time, because I could definitely see us, diving straight into a Rebecca flashback. Also, I'm trying to read Rebecca's face here. We don't get to see her reaction to number 29. So I'm not sure if Rebecca knows what he's talking about. Because Rebecca's face here could just be a reaction to seeing Labilia beat up. Which might be my one minor takeaway. My one minor detraction from the chapter is Mashima's newfound BDSM kink strikes again. Though it's not directly sexual, there still is... It's Mashima, so it's always a little sexual. And with how much villains in this series love their BDSM, I'm not... But it's mostly fine. It's mostly fine. It could be a lot worse. It could be Iliga, it could be Kurenai, and it's not, so I'll take it. Beyond that, this chapter is really, really good. My point is, I can't tell what exactly Rebecca's reacting to on this last page. If it's just Labilia and the revelation that Drakken wants her for his crew, or if it's specifically that she knows what number 29 is. And we'll have to wait and see about that next time. So that's all I have to say for this week's chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!